Sam, Carlton made you work pretty hard for that tonight. How do you judge the performance?
Yeah, I mean, I said going into the game that Carlton are not a reflection of last week. I think they're going to be a good side. They're pretty well drilled, got talent everywhere. So we knew that the game was going to be a tough one, and we had to produce some pretty good footy to get over the line. And we probably, I know we get the win, and probably a little bit of luck in it. They had a couple of score reviews that went against them, and it could have got a little bit out of hand just before half time, and it was a real arm wrestle. I'm pleased that we were able to come out of it, but it's probably not our best performance either.
It shows some growing maturity in this group, Sam, just to figure out.
Yeah, I think the maturity of the group and how we've handled momentum this year has been something we've worked on, and we've started to see some growth. I think when you look at the side and the progression of the team over the last couple of years, there's been things that we've worked on and we've seen improvement in. And I think that's what I'm wrapped for the players, because it's been a pretty solid start to the season for us. Friday, Thursday, all big games. A lot of eyes, and the way we've handled the momentum in those games because of the work we've done on it, I'm really pleased that we've been able to make progress. And we know to get where we want to go, we have to beat the best sides and handle momentum swings. And we haven't got everything perfect, but we have made significant progress in that area. I'm wrapped that the players get the reward for it.
The 3 games you're doing, though, how do you ensure the intensity will make higher?
Yeah, I mean, we're not complaining. It's a great fixtures. We're wrapped with what we've been handed, and now we'll train tomorrow, have a bit of a review, and then we'll give the weekend off to the players, which I think they deserve and will enjoy. And then it doesn't get any easier at GWS next week, so we've got an enormous amount of respect for how they play, and I think the players know that it's a long season. I mean, it's round 2, and so you can't be thinking about your fatigue levels or the injuries that have started to probably accumulate now. Those things are out of our control, and what we need to make sure we produce is high level footy. And I think the pressure in tonight's game from both teams just didn't relent. Normally you see these ebbs and flows in the pressure factor through the game up in the coach's box on our little screen, but it just stayed high the whole game. And I think both sets of players would be pretty proud of the pressure they put on the opposition. Yeah, disappointing. I'm not sure what exactly the ankle injury is, so he'll have a scan tomorrow and we'll work it out from there. But we got, obviously Warps has been out now, and then Jack Scrimshaw's obviously going to miss a couple more as well. So we start to build up. But I was really pleased with the guys who came in. I mean, Jack Gunston, I thought his role was really important. The goal kicking, his 2 were really important goals at key moments. And even a guy like Chankworth, when he came into the side, he would have been so disappointed that he just got injured at the wrong time in the pre-season, but he gets an opportunity and he really took it tonight. So I think making sure you've got depth in your squad and we don't rely on too many individual players, and you want to try to avoid that like every coach does. And we're fortunate that the depth is pretty good. So if we lose Connor, there'll be a replacement.
You expect a lot from any opposition, but knowing what they've gone through, did you plan anything around that, or talk to the players around what to expect from Carlton, particularly being hot in the first quarter? And do you structurally try and set things up for that, or just talk about a mentality?
I think the players they might say that they don't follow the footy too much or watch too many. It's probably trendy to say that, but I think most of our players watch a lot of footy. They're all social media, the content of the game, and the way you guys do a great job of getting it everywhere. So it's pretty hard to avoid. I think everyone knew, our players included, that Carlton were under a fair bit of pressure through the week, and we know they're a good side. They're going to be there at the end, and so making sure that the players are well prepared for what that might look like and how that manifests itself in the game is part of your job as a coach. But I wouldn't say I had to do too much. I think they got a pretty good level of understanding and intellect about the game, and I thought the first quarter, the pressure in it from both teams was first class, and fortunately we were able to hold on for long enough, and it was a pretty hard-fought win, which we suspected. It really felt like a final. I thought the game had that feeling about it where there was neither team looked out of it, and either team could win at any moment, and I was pleased we were able to come away with the win.
Sam, what happened in the second quarter? There was a moment that 19 players on the ground. Was
Yeah.
there a breakdown in communication?
Yeah, I think I only just heard about it just before I came in here, and the bench guys were saying, "Oh, someone came off, and then didn't realise someone had come on, and then no one came on, so we ran back on." So it was just a miscommunication, and it obviously cost us a 66 warning, which we then got another one, so it was a free kick. So we need to be better than that. We need to be more organised, and the ripple effect of things like second rucks, you know, those things caused us a bit of trouble. So we need to get better in that area, and we would hope that won't happen again.
Sam, the last time the Hawks started the season with 3 consecutive wins, the last 2 times was 2008 and 2014. 2008, obviously, you were the Hawks captain, premiership captain that year, and 2014 was the second of 3 P. Does that give you a lot of confidence? Obviously, with this season starting the same with 3 consecutive wins.
Well, I didn't know that, but it's nice to know. I'm not disappointed in that, but what I do know is it's round 2. It's a good position to be in, of course, and we feel fortunate that we're here. We feel fortunate that we've worked really hard to get to this point, but it'll mean nothing depending on what happens next. So I think Bill Belichick always says we just win 1 in a row. So 3 times we've won 1 in a row, and you know, it doesn't get any easier. We get GWS next, and that'll be another big game for us. But I mean, I think we've worked hard. We've improved our game. We've got better at some aspects, and we've got more improvement to do to make sure we end up where we want to go. And this is a good position to be in, but it doesn't get any easier. And the season is just so long, which I love. I don't want it to be shorter. I love the length of the season. Love the length of the games, and we've put ourselves in a position where we've got a bit of a head start, but you know, that can get run down pretty quick. We saw last year with lots of teams in that same position.
Sam, off the back of 2 strong finals, how are you seeing the progression of someone like Josh Ward in the void of James Worpel, and do you potentially see them coexisting in the same midfield once James is healthy?
Yeah, I certainly do. I thought Josh Ward was fantastic. I thought his running power, his skill, ball use tonight was first class. I thought last week we probably lacked a bit of energy in the game. We couldn't find a vibrancy, but I thought players like him really helped tonight. I thought he had the fantastic running power. He really was able to create a lot of threat to the opposition with his run. And so, you know, he would have started the season disappointed that he wasn't in the team. And we've got other guys who are playing. The VFL start their season tomorrow night. So there'll be a lot of guys playing there that are disappointed they're not playing. But Josh Ward is a great example. The same with Chankworth, same with Jack Gunston. It doesn't matter which stage of your career you're in. If you're not in the side, opportunities invariably come up. And the fact that Wardy's been able to take his like that is, I think, great reward for effort, because he leaves it all out there every day on the track and tries to improve his craft.
Just on CJ, Sam, you referenced him before, but he's been through so much disappointment the past few years with his body. Just talk us through what he's done to get back and how he's handled all that disappointment, especially last September watching on.
Yeah, I think with someone like CJ, he's such a finely tuned athlete. He's obviously got a physical profile that is magnificent. But then comes with that is some injury risk, and so he has to be so much more diligent than most. And we talk about it, sometimes the midfielders, the Newcombs and Warples and players that are built like that, they can get away with maybe, not to say that they do, but if they did a bit less recovery, they'd probably just feel a bit sore. They're not going to get hurt. Whereas someone like CJ, he has to do everything right all the time. And the level of professionalism needed from him because of the profile he has is at a level that not many of us understand. So I couldn't be more proud of what he's done to get to this point. Is it all going to be smooth sailing? Who knows? I hope so. But what I know is he's got a great level of commitment to making sure that he has the best possible career and season that he can, and rapt to have him in the team. And he played such an important role for us tonight, and I thought he really stepped up when we needed him tonight. Thanks, guys.